Revealed, how a handsome billionaire's unexpected marriage to a poor street girl changed everything. Jack Harper stood at the edge of his sprawling penthouse, overlooking the magnificent skyline of Chicago. Just hours before, he had made the most shocking decision of his life, the kind of move that would send ripples through the elite circles he had moved in for years. He had married Lily, a street artist barely half his age, from the roughest part of the city. The headlines would surely blare, "Billionaire falls for street girl." Yet, there was something deeper here, something that reached into the heart of the American dream. Lily, with her wild, colorful hair and eyes that sparkled like the stars above, was a whirlwind of emotion. Growing up in a world of struggle had forged her into an unbreakable spirit. To Jack, she was not just a partner, she was a beacon of hope and creativity, igniting his once stagnant soul. But now, as he looked out at the city that had always embraced him, he felt the weight of judgment pressing down. Status meant everything, and he had just stepped down a ladder so many believe was sacred. That first week flew by in a daze of magic and disbelief. Intimate moments shared when they were just Jack and Lily turned into stolen glances under the critiques of a harsh society. Jack introduced her to his world, lavish parties, extravagant dinners, but each time he felt a pang of discomfort as he watched her navigate the marble halls with vulnerability. Was this really her world? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Things took a dramatic turn when a beloved local bakery, a cherished spot in Lily's community, faced closure. The owner, a beloved grandmother to many, was overwhelmed by debt. Jack saw the sorrow in Lily's eyes, the way her heart ached for her community, and knew then what he had to do. Together, they devised a plan to rally support, pulling in their new friends from Jack's world and Lily's community. As posters went up on walls and social media campaigns spread, an unexpected alliance formed. Jack learned to appreciate the strength of community as they shared tears, laughter, and hope. But just when they were gaining traction, a betrayal emerged from within Jack's inner circle, a close friend whom he had entrusted, someone whose ambition threatened to unravel it all. Standing on the precipice of something beautiful, Jack stared at the letter that had arrived that morning. It was unsigned, but the contents were enough to shake his foundations. Secrets about Lily's background intertwined with Jack's own family history. Could they truly build a life together amidst the chaos? As Lily entered the room, her eyes alight with dreams, Jack felt a tightness in his chest. They had navigated storms before, but this shadow looming over them felt insurmountable. Was their love resilient enough to withstand the rumblings of the past? The question hung heavy in the air, leaving them both suspended on the edge of an unknown future. Lily noticed the tension etched on Jack's face as he stared into the distance. She walked over, her steps faltering just a moment, filled with uncertainty. "Jack. What's wrong?" Her voice broke through the silence like a gentle chime, but his gaze didn't shift. He held out the letter, fingers trembling slightly. Lily took it, her heart pounding. The paper felt heavy as if it carried the weight of their dreams. Unfolding it slowly, her brow furrowed as she read the scrawled words. Secrets about her past. Her childhood in a foster home, struggles that Jack had never fully learned about. "Why didn't you tell me?" Jack's voice was thick with emotion. "We could have faced this together." Lily swallowed hard, the stinging sensation of tears dancing at the corners of her eyes. "I thought I could leave it behind, Jack. I didn't want it to define me, or us." Her heart raced. She had just begun to feel a sense of belonging, only to have it threatened by the shadows of her past. Jack stepped closer, his presence warm and grounding. "But our love is built on honesty. You deserve to share everything with me." Lily nodded slowly, her chest tightening as she held his gaze. "You're right. I was scared. Scared of what you might think, scared that it might push you away." For a moment, they simply stood there, the city seeping into the silence around them. Jack's expression softened, the lines of tension easing. "Nothing could push me away, Lily. We can overcome this. Together." But that wasn't the only storm they faced. Word was spreading in the community about the shady dealings of the friend Jack had trusted, the one with a hidden agenda. Troy had always been ambitious, almost to a fault. But Jack never imagined he would go this far. As if sensing the chaos brewing in Jack's thoughts, Lily reached for his hand, grounding him in the moment. "Whatever it is, we'll fight it. We have each other, right?" Jack felt a surge of warmth rush through him. If anyone could navigate this storm, it was them together. Absolutely. They agreed to meet with the bakery owner the next morning. She needed their help. They planned to turn the dining space into a community event, full of laughter and hope. But fear lingered as they battled against the shadow looming over them. The sun set behind the skyline, wrapping them in a velvety embrace as Jack and Lily sat on the floor of their penthouse, surrounded by scraps of paper and plans for the bakery. Just as laughter danced between them, Jack's phone buzzed. A message from Troy. The tone chillingly casual, but it reflected a sinister undercurrent. "We need to talk, Jack. Issues have come up. Don't make me go public with what I know." Jack's heart sank. The stakes were suddenly higher than he had anticipated. Lily looked over, her face a mix of concern and determination. "What is it?" "No time to explain," Jack said, swallowing hard. "But I need to meet him. Right now." "Jack, no. I'm scared of what he might do," she pleaded, reaching for him, but he stepped back, the resolve of a man with too much at stake igniting within him. "I have to. For us." As he walked toward the door, Lily's heart raced with a sense of impending dread. "Jack, promise you'll come back." He looked back, holding her gaze, a silent promise formed. "I will." But as he rounded the corner, a feeling of unease churned in his gut. What would he discover when facing Troy? And as Lily stood alone, the flicker of doubt cast a shadow over their hopeful plans. Would the grip of the past and betrayal tear them apart before they could truly begin? The weight of uncertainty lay heavy in the air, leaving both of them on the verge of a deeper revelation. Jack stepped into the cool night air, his heart pounding with a mix of determination and anxiety. Every step away from Lily felt like a tug on a fragile thread that bound them together. He pushed the door open to the street, the bustling sounds of the city fading into a distant hum. His mind raced with thoughts of what Troy might say. The man had always been unpredictable, his ambitions often clouded by a darker side Jack was now regretting he had ignored for too long. As he walked, the street lamps flickered like the doubt in his mind. Was he walking into a trap? Arriving at the bar where they had agreed to meet, Jack spotted Troy sitting at a corner table, a glass of whiskey in front of him. His body language was relaxed, but his eyes darted around, calculating. Jack approached, noticing the smirk on Troy's face, a hint of mischief beneath the surface. "Jack, glad you could make it," Troy said smoothly, his words dripping with false friendliness. "Cut the crap, Troy. What is going on? You said there are issues?" Jack demanded, his voice low but edged with urgency. Troy leaned back, swirling the whiskey in his glass. "Issues like your little bakery plan. You think you can just put a smile on everyone's face and everything will be alright? I know how hard you've worked, but your sweet little vision is about to crumble. What are you talking about?" Jack's heart raced. Troy was playing with fire, and the implications were dire. Troy's grin widened. "Let's just say I have information that could ruin you both." "It's just business, Jack. Don't take it personally." Jack clenched his fists, feeling the anger boil. "What do you want?" "Simple," Troy replied, leaning forward, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "I want you to back off. You support the bakery, and I keep your secrets safe. Do that, and you won't have to worry about what might be revealed. But cross me, and I won't just go public with your past, Jack. I'll drag Lily into it too. A chill ran down Jack's spine. The thought of Lily being hurt because of him was unbearable. He took a deep breath, attempting to steady himself. You're a coward, Troy. Blackmailing me won't help you win. You think you can just break us apart like that? Hey, this is just business, Troy retorted, but there was a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. Jack glanced at the door, imagining the moment he'd walk back to Lily, how he'd wrap her in his arms and promise her that he wouldn't let anything happen to her. I won't let you win, Jack said defiantly. You can't control me or her. I'll fight for us. Troy chuckled softly, waving a dismissive hand. Good luck, Jack. You'll need it. I always win in the end. Jack turned on his heel, urgency coursing through him. The weight of Troy's threat settled heavily on him, but he wouldn't let it crush his spirit. He couldn't shake the feeling that he had to act quickly before it was too late. Back at the penthouse, Lily paced, biting her nails, her mind racing with worry. She'd waited longer than she'd wanted to admit, and with each passing second, the dread crept deeper. What if Troy said something that turned Jack away from her forever? Suddenly, the door burst open. Jack strode in, his expression fierce and determined. Lily. He called, his voice filling the room like a battle cry. She rushed toward him, her heart in her throat. Jack. What happened? He paused, his gaze piercing into her. We need to talk. I'm not sure how much longer we can protect what we have. Her breath caught. The fear lacing his words was palpable. Did Troy's threats change everything? And just as the tension soared, the phone rang. It was a number Lily didn't recognize, but the urgency in the tone sent chills down her spine. Jack, it's for you. As he took the phone, a brimming sense of dread filled the room. What new challenges awaited them now? Would they be able to overcome this storm together, or was something more sinister lurking just around the corner? Jack pressed the phone to his ear, his heart hammering. Hello. He hated the tremor in his voice. Jack, it's me. I need you to listen carefully. The voice on the other end was calm but urgent, sending ripples of anxiety through him. It was Sarah, a mutual friend from their old neighborhood. Troy's been spreading rumors, and it's about Lily. What are you talking about? Jack's breath quickened. What rumors? Something about her past, Jack. He's digging into her family history. If he goes public, it could destroy everything she's built. Panic washed over him. How do you know this? I overheard him at a party last week. He mentioned a truth about her that he could expose, something she's never shared. That bastard. Jack's fists clenched tighter around his phone. He cast a worried glance toward Lily, who stood frozen, her expression shifting from concern to fear. Knowing that Troy could hurt her made his blood boil. Jack, I'm serious. You need to get a handle on this before it escalates. I will, he replied, his tone firm. Thank you, Sarah. He hung up and took a deep breath. Lily, we're in trouble, he said, trying to keep his voice steady, though he felt the weight of dread settle over them like a storm cloud. Lily took a step closer, her eyes wide and searching. What did Sarah say? Jack's heart ached at the vulnerability in her gaze. Troy's been spreading lies about you, rumors about your past. He's planning to use them against us. We need to prepare for the worst. Tears glistened in her eyes. Jack, I'm not trying to hide anything. You know that. I know, he replied quickly, reaching for her hand. It's just, he's a monster, and he knows exactly how to hurt us. But I won't let him take you away from me. She squeezed his hand tightly, seeking reassurance. But what if he does? What if no one believes us? We'll make them believe us, Jack said fiercely. We'll fight back, together. I want to let him win. He wants to tear us apart, but he doesn't know us, he doesn't know how strong we are. Lily hesitated. What if it's too late? What if he already has something? What if he is setting a trap for us? The reality of her words hit Jack like a punch to the gut. He could feel Troy's presence looming like a shadow ready to strike. We need to act fast. We have to find out what he knows and get in front of it. Do we have any allies? Lily asked, a mixture of hope and fear in her voice. I think so. If we reach out to Sarah and some of our old friends, we might get an edge. We can expose him before he has a chance to hurt you. But we need to do it now, and we need to do it smart. Lily nodded, calmed slightly by his resolve, but still shaken. What are we going to do? How do we even begin? Jack took a deep breath, channeling all his determination into his words. First, we gather information. Then we confront Troy on our terms, and if he wants a fight, we're going to give him one. As Jack laid out a plan, urgency coursed through them like electricity. They had a battle ahead, and every second counted. Just then, as if the universe was listening, a loud knock echoed through the apartment. They both froze, exchanging a panicked glance. Jack's heart raced. Who could that be? Lily shook her head, her eyes wide in alarm. I don't know, but I have a bad feeling about it. The weight of uncertainty pressed down on them as Jack approached the door, the tension mounting with each step. Would this be an ally or a new threat? His hand hovered over the doorknob, fear and hope intertwining. What awaited them on the other side? Would they find help, or would it be yet another weapon in Troy's arsenal? With a deep breath, he opened the door, ready to face whatever lay beyond. The door creaked open, revealing a familiar face that sent shockwaves through Jack's heart. It was Danny, a friend from their neighborhood, but he looked different, worn down, with shadows under his eyes. Jack, Lily, Danny breathed, glancing over his shoulder as if expecting someone to follow. I need to talk to you. It's important. Lily stepped back slightly, her instinct for self-preservation kicking in. What is going on? Is this about Troy? Danny nodded, stepping inside. He's been stirring up trouble. I heard some things I'm afraid he might be planning. Jack felt a surge of urgency. What do you know? Tell us, please. Danny closed the door softly and slid down against it, his breath ragged. I overheard him at a bar last night. He's got some dirt on Lily. He's had people watching her. He knows things from her past that could ruin her. They both froze, horror flooding Jack's veins. What kind of things? Lily said, her voice barely a whisper. He didn't go into detail. Just that it was big enough to shake everything she's built. Look, I know how much you care about her. You have to believe me, I wouldn't have come if it wasn't serious. Jack could see the panic rising in Lily's eyes. He turned to Danny, frustration bubbling up. Why would you wait until now to tell us this? Because, Danny replied, voice steady. I didn't think he'd actually go through with it. But now I'm not so sure. I saw who he was with. He's got allies. Lily stepped closer to Jack, her fingers intertwining with his. What kind of allies? She asked, her fear palpable. People who work with him. They're in the shadows, pulling strings. I'm not sure how deep it runs, but Troy has connections. He's been leveraging them to make sure whatever he's planning sticks. Jack's mind raced, turning rapidly in a million directions. We can't let him get the jump on us. If he has information, we need to know what it is, and we need to know now. Lily looked to Jack, tears forming at the corners of her eyes. What if it's something really bad? What if it's something I can't fight? We don't know what it is yet, but we will find out, he reassured her, wiping the tears from her eyes with his thumb. We will work together. We need a strategy. Danny stood up, determination replacing his earlier weakness. We need to confront Troy and flush him out. He's not going to stop, and if we wait for him to make his move, it might be too late. Jack nodded. All right, then. Let us gather our allies. We'll need a united front. Sarah, maybe some others from the old neighborhood. If we can rally them, we'll have support. Support won't matter if we don't know what we're up against, Danny pointed out, scrubbing his face with his hands. Lily took a deep breath, collecting her strength. I'm not going to let him control my life. I have nothing to hide from you, Jack. But whatever he has, I'll face it head on. The sudden rush of adrenaline and fear mingled in Jack's chest. This was it. They were officially in a war against Troy, but this was about more than just them now. It was about Lily's truth. Then let us go out there and find out what he is hiding. We're not backing down. We've come too far, Jack said, his voice solid and fierce. As they made their way to the door, a thought gnawed at Jack. What truth lay in store for them? Would it bring them together or threaten to tear them apart? With every step, the reality of the battle ahead pressed down around them, and the shadows of Troy's intentions loomed larger than ever. But now, Jack was ready. A fire ignited within him. He would not let Troy win. The moment of truth was approaching fast. Would they discover the secret, or would it consume them all? The air was thick with tension as Jack, Lily, and Danny stepped out into the cool night. Every shadow seemed to whisper secrets, every creak of the old wooden floorboards beneath their feet echoed the urgency of their mission. Jack's heart pounded in his chest like a war drum, he could hardly shake the feeling that Troy was always one step ahead. First things first, Danny said, his voice low and steady. We need to find Sarah. She might know more about Troy's connections and she is smart. She always had a knack for digging up dirt. Lily nodded, her fingers gripping Jack's arm tightly as they walked down the desolate street. Can you call her? The sooner we get allies involved, the better. Jack fished out his phone, his hands twitching with a mix of determination and fear. He dialed Sarah's number, his heart racing as he listened to the ringing. Would she answer? Would she even want to get involved? Come on, he whispered to himself, stealing a glance at Lily, who was biting her lip in anguish. When Sarah finally picked up, her voice was muffled, laced with sleepiness. Jack. It's late. Sarah, I need your help. It's urgent. Troy's back in town and he's planning something dangerous. We need you to meet us. Now. The line went quiet for a moment. Jack held his breath, praying that she'd understand the gravity of the situation. I'm on my way, Sarah replied, her tone shifting to one of concern. They lingered at the nearby park, anxiously pacing. Jack couldn't shake the images of what Troy might do. If he had dirt on Lily, everything they had fought for could crumble around them. You think she'll show? Danny asked, his brow furrowed. What if she is too scared? She is stronger than you think, Lily said softly, her voice steady. She'll come. We just have to trust. With those words hanging in the air, Jack turned to Lily, searching for reassurance in her eyes. Whatever comes, we'll face it together. You're not alone in this. None of us are. Just then, the glow of headlights broke the night's stillness. A moment later, Sarah pulled up in her old hatchback, her determined expression flickering with urgency as she rushed towards them. Okay, what's the game plan? She asked, eyes darting from Jack to Lily. Jack took a breath, feeling the knot in his stomach tighten. We need to confront Troy. We have to find out what he knows and what he is planning. We can't wait for him to make a move. Sarah nodded, then tuned in to Lily. Are you sure you're ready for this? If Troy has something on you, it could get really complicated. Lily's gaze hardened. I can't live in fear any longer. I refuse to let him control me. Whatever he has, I'll face it. I have to. Jack wrapped his arm around her, feeling her resolve strengthen his own. They were about to step into the unknown, but they were no longer just a couple facing personal demons, they were a small team ready to confront whatever darkness lay ahead. Then let us go, Danny said, his voice filled with purpose. The longer we wait, the more power Troy has over us. As they started walking towards Troy's last known hangout, adrenaline coursed through Jack's veins. With Lily by his side and their friends rallying with them, he felt a flicker of hope. But fear still loomed large, reminding him that they were marching into a confrontation that could change everything. They approached the bar where Troy often lurked, neon lights buzzing overhead like angry hornets. What if everything crumbled at this moment? What if the secret Troy held would tear them apart? Jack glanced at Lily. Her resolve was palpable, yet he could see the weight of anxiety resting in those vibrant eyes. In that moment, he wasn't just fighting for Lily's truth, he was fighting for their future. Suddenly, from within the bar, a figure emerged. It was Troy, flanked by two ominous-looking associates. Their eyes locked, and Jack felt the air shift. "Troy," Jack called out, his voice firm but trembling. "We need to talk." Troy smirked, a glint of menace sparkling in his gaze. Well. Look who it is. You've come to play, have you?" The moment of confrontation had arrived. But what would it reveal? Would the truth they sought bring liberation or destruction? Jack took a step forward, trying to mask his unease. The glow from the neon lights flickered behind Troy, creating an eerie atmosphere. "Enough games, Troy. This isn't a joke. We know you have something on Lily, and we're not leaving until you tell us what it is." A low chuckle escaped Troy's lips, sending chills down Jack's spine. "Oh, I don't think you understand the precarious situation you're in, Jack. It's not just Lily at stake here. You all have things to lose." Lily inhaled sharply, her fingers tightening around Jack's arm. "What do you mean? Just tell us what you have. The truth can't hurt more than hiding behind lies." Troy's eyes glinted with mischief. "You really think you can challenge me? You don't know what I'm capable of." He gestured to his associates, who stepped forward, their expressions grim. Danny shifted nervously, but Jack could sense the fire in Lily. She wasn't backing down. "We're not afraid of you," she said, her voice steady with an underlying current of fearlessness. "What do you want?" "What I want." Troy raised an eyebrow, clearly enjoying the moment. "I want to be entertained. This little showdown of ideals. Priceless." He leaned closer, his voice lowering to a conspiratorial whisper. "But more importantly, I want to see how far you're willing to go to protect each other. Because trust me, secrets have a way of unraveling." Jack swallowed hard, his heart racing. He could feel the weight of uncertainty in the air. "What are you talking about, Troy? Just tell us what you know," he demanded, trying to sound braver than he felt. Troy laughed, and it poured out like syrup, sticky and thick. "You really need to pick your battles." "But I suppose," he paused dramatically, glancing from Jack to Lily and back again. "I could give you a hint. Let us consider this a sort of game. You find out where I've hidden the truth, and I'll reveal my cards first. How does that sound?" Jack couldn't believe what he was hearing. This wasn't just mind games, Troy was toying with their lives. "You think this is a joke?" The air crackled with tension. "Ah, but it isn't it? Life is but a game, and the stakes. They couldn't be higher." With a decisive wave of his hand, Troy turned back towards the bar, motioning for his associates to follow. "I'll give you until dawn. If you can find my files, let us say, they'll grant you a peek into my little secrets. But if you fail, well, let us just say the consequences could be dire." Danny clenched his fists, standing his ground. "You think we'll just leave? We're not afraid of you or the clock. Fear is a powerful motivator, my friend, Troy called over his shoulder with a smirk. Tick-tock. And just like that, he vanished back inside the bar, leaving an air of dread behind him. Jack turned to Lily, panic swirling in his gut. What do we do? Danny, Sarah, we don't have much time. Lily's expression hardened, a fierce determination in her gaze. We find those files. We get the truth before it's too late. Right, but where do we even start? Sarah questioned, her brow furrowed. His house, Jack stated, confidence swelling as urgency coursed through him. That's where he keeps everything locked away. If we can get in, it might lead us to what we need. As they quickly conspired on their next move, Jack's heart raced not just from fear of Troy's threats but from the rush of excitement that came with standing united against the looming darkness. Suddenly, Lily turned to him, worry flickering in her eyes. What if he's right? What if we can't find the truth in time? Jack took her hands, their warmth anchoring him. We will. We have to believe we can. With adrenaline coursing through them, they began mapping out their plan, knowing they were racing against time. The night seemed to loom larger, shadows stretching like claws around them, ready to clutch and ensnare. But somewhere deep inside, Jack held on to a thread of hope. They could beat Troy at his own game if they worked together. But as they moved away from the bar, a realization pressed heavily on Jack's heart. What if the truth they sought would change everything, not just for Lily but for them all? Would they emerge stronger? Or would this unravel everything they had built together? The dawn of revelation was creeping closer, but so too was the darkness Troy promised. Would they find the strength to face it, or would it consume them whole? As Jack, Lily, Danny, and Sarah sprinted down the city streets, the world around them blurred into a backdrop of shadows and urgency. The neon lights flickered like warnings, and the air was thick with tension, reminding them of the game they were locked in with Troy. Jack's heart pounded a relentless rhythm, pushing him forward, propelling them into the unknown. Turn left here. Jack urged, veering onto a dimly lit side street. He had memorized the layout of the city, calmed by the familiarity of its twists and turns, but tonight, it felt different. Every step echoed, every breath weighed down by dread. Lily stayed close, her eyes scanning the surroundings. Do you really think we can break into Troy's place? He probably has it rigged like a fortress, she said, skepticism threading through her voice. We have to try, Jack replied, determination tightening his grip on her hand. It's our only shot. Danny lagged behind slightly, his muscles tight with worry. And what if we get caught? Troy told us it wasn't going to end well for us. Then we won't get caught, Sarah interjected, her tone all business. We need a plan. He won't expect us. Exactly, Jack said, picking up their pace. We go in quietly, find the files, and get out. We have the element of surprise. Troy underestimates us. As they reached Troy's upscale building, its imposing facade loomed over them like the weight of the situation pressing down on their shoulders. A chill ran through the air, and Jack felt a flicker of doubt flash across his mind. Was this a foolish gamble? Lily's grip tightened, pulling him back slightly. Jack, wait, she breathed, her voice barely above a whisper. What if we find something we're not ready for? What if the truth changes everything? For a moment, Jack's heart sank. Could their bond withstand the revelations? Not knowing stirred something primal inside him, the thought of losing Lily to the past she might have buried consumed him. We have to trust each other, Lil. Whatever we find, we'll handle it together. With that, conviction surged within him. They edged toward the entrance, aware that every shadow held a threat. As they slipped inside, the glossy interior felt surreal, the walls echoing their footsteps. Where do we start? Danny muttered, scanning the lavish hallway adorned with marble and framed artwork. His office, Sarah said, recalling Troy's intimidating presence. That's where he'll keep everything. We need to find his desk. Navigating through the lavish space, they felt their preparedness slip. The atmosphere grew heavy and oppressive, like the darkness of the past weighing down on them. Jack felt the pulse of anxiety in the pit of his stomach, a reminder of how much was at risk. Not just Lily's truths but his as well. As they approached the office door, Jack's hand hovered over the doorknob, the cool metal biting into his palm like a reminder of what lay ahead. On 3, Jack whispered, counting down despite his racing heart. 1, 2, 3. He swung the door open, the hinges creaking eerily. Inside, the office sprawled before them in elegant chaos. Papers lay scattered across the desk, a silver laptop hummed in the dim light. Search for the files. Jack urged, his voice barely above a breath, as he moved quickly to the desk. Lily swept through the documents, her brows knitted in concentration. There has to be something here. Suddenly, a noise echoed from the hallway, a soft thud, then footsteps approaching. Jack's pulse quickened. We have to hurry. But as they rifled through the desk, Jack felt a chill wash over him as he unearthed a file labeled with Lily's name. His heart dropped. What could Troy possibly have on her? Before he could voice his thoughts, the office door swung open, revealing a figure cloaked in shadow. Time froze, and dread washed over them all. Troy stood in the doorway, a smirk on his face that sent chills down Jack's spine. I see you've made yourself at home. Didn't think you'd take me up on my little game. In that moment, Jack knew they had crossed a line they might never return from. Would the truth set them free or plunge them deeper into Troy's web? Jack braced himself for the confrontation. Would they find the courage to fight back? Or would they become just another pawn in Troy's twisted game? Jack's breath caught in his throat as the reality of Troy's presence sank in. The shadowy figure in the doorway exuded confidence, and that smirk only deepened the chasm of fear in the pit of his stomach. The others froze, but Jack felt an inexplicable pull to stand his ground. Troy's voice dripped with mockery. You kids really think you can waltz in here, snoop around, and leave unscathed? The audacity! He stepped further into the room, letting the darkness swallow him whole. Get out of here, Troy, Jack said, trying to keep his voice steady. We're not afraid of you. Troy laughed, the sound cutting through the silence like a knife. Oh, but you should be. You have no idea what you've stumbled into. He paused, letting the implication hang in the air like a shadow. And especially what I know about you, Lily. Lily recoiled slightly, her face paling as though he de-struck her. What do you mean? Oh, you don't want to hear it, Troy replied, feigning concern as he waved a dismissive hand. It's best to stay in the dark. Unless you really want to dive into those memories. Jack shot Lily a protective glance, feeling her tremble beside him. He could see the whirlwind of emotions flicker across her face: fear, confusion, anger. Whatever information Troy held over her was powerful, and Jack felt the same dread that had clenched his heart before. Enough. What do you want, Troy? He demanded, stepping forward, adrenaline coursing through his veins. Troy's eyes glittered with amusement. What do I want? Let us see. How about to keep you ignorant? Yes, that's it. Ignorance is bliss, after all. That made Jack stop, realization slamming into him like a freight train. Troy was feeding off their fear. This was all part of his sick game. What do you gain from this? Why not just be done with us? Troy leaned back against the doorframe, arms crossed as if he were passing time. This is more than just fun for me. It's about power. And I'll be sure to savor it. You see, Jack, the truth is a double-edged sword. You might feel brave now, but imagine how vulnerable you'll feel when you pry the lid off those secrets. Jack's heart sank at the thought. The vulnerability he sensed in Lily, the weight of that file, everything was collapsing around him. We're not going to let you control us, he said, his voice rising. Whatever you think you know, it won't stop us. A bold sentiment, Troy replied, taking a step closer, eyes narrowing. But in this game, your courage means nothing without knowledge. And I hold the trump cards. Behind him, Sarah and Danny exchanged uneasy glances. It was clear they were all feeling the pressure. Sarah took a step forward. She's right. We're not going to let you manipulate us. Just tell us what you know. Troy savored the moment in silence before finally letting out a low chuckle. Very well, I could tell you. But where's the fun in that? In a heartbeat, he lunged toward the desk, grabbing the file Jack had found earlier. How about I show you instead? As Troy flicked the file open, Jack's heart dropped. The papers inside were filled with images, names, details that stormed past any semblance of control. Everything inside him screamed to stop him. Don't! Jack shouted. But it was too late. The files spilled open under Troy's grip, and he began to read, unraveling a web of secrets, lies, and truths. Each word sending shockwaves into their already fragile group. Jack realized they weren't just fighting for answers, they were fighting for their very souls. Welcome to the truth, Troy's voice rang, a mocking symphony in the aftermath of chaos. Jack's instincts screamed to yank the papers away. Lily, run! He urged. But their eyes were locked onto the unfolding chaos, destined to change everything they thought they knew. As Jack instinctively shielded Lily from the onslaught of unearthing truths, he felt the weight of dread claw at his insides. Was this the end, or the unveiling of something they weren't ready to confront? The air thickened with tension as Troy continued, his voice dripping with glee, and Jack prepared for the fallout. Would the truth push them apart or pull them closer than ever before? The tension in the room was palpable as Troy began flipping through the file, the atmosphere thickening with dread. Each word he read sent a shockwave through Jack's heart. Images leapt to life, memories resurfaced, and dark secrets swirled like a storm in Lily's eyes. Jack could feel her fear, her anxiety radiating off her in waves. Stop! You don't have to do this, Jack pleaded, desperation spilling into his voice. We can talk about this like adults. We don't need to resort to this nonsense. But Troy only laughed, reveling in their discomfort. Oh, Jack, don't you see? This is the moment you've been waiting for, the curtain rising on the grand performance. You can't escape it. He held up an image of Lily, young, scared, standing in front of a dilapidated building. This is where it all started for your sweet Lil. The home she once tried so hard to leave behind. Lily's breath hitched, tears brimming in her eyes as she looked from the file to Jack. In that instance, the gravity of Troy's cruelty settled like a weight on her shoulders. She took a step back, but Jack was right there, anchoring her, grounding her in this moment. He couldn't let Troy unravel her spirit. He wouldn't. Whatever you think you found, it doesn't define her. Jack shouted, frustration boiling over. You don't know her. You don't know what it means to fight for something. Fight? Oh, I can see you're not fully aware of the stakes here. Troy's smirk deepened as he continued, the community bakery. The fate of your precious girlfriend. It all comes down to one thing: will anyone believe her when they see what I have here? The implications hung in the air like a guillotine blade. Would Lily's past overshadow their present? They had fought so hard to overcome obstacles, but this was different, this was personal. Jack, Lily's voice quivered with uncertainty. No. Listen to me. Jack turned to face her, the intensity flaring in his eyes. This is our fight together. We won't let his twisted games tear us apart. Cute speech, Jack, but how will you change the narrative? Words only go so far, Troy taunted, flickering through pages, crafting a chilling narrative with every flip. But in that moment, a light flickered in Lily's eyes: recognition. I want to let you define me, Troy. She finally declared, her voice growing stronger. What I lived through shaped me, but it doesn't control me anymore. I've found my family. I am not afraid of your lies. We stand together. It was like a spark igniting a fire. Jack felt the energy shift. Inspired, he nodded in agreement, grounding their united front. You're right, Lily. We have everything we need to turn this around. We won't let you use her past against us. Troy faltered ever so slightly, the confident facade cracking. You think you can keep this charade up? If you go against me, I'll expose everything. You won't just lose her, your precious reputation will go down with it. Jack stepped closer, their faces inches apart. Go ahead, Troy. Do your worst. Think of it an exposé on your illicit tactics. Good luck finding someone who'll believe you over Lily's vibrant spirit. His words dripped with conviction, challenging Troy to truly embrace the chaos. I think you're underestimating me, Jack. I've built my empire on the backs of the unworthy, Troy hissed, fury igniting in his eyes. Without warning, Danny leaped forward, using the element of surprise. Look, Troy, we know about your illegal dealings. You're the one who win this game. Troy staggered back, surprised. What do you think you're let us cut the games? You've underestimated our loyalty to each other. We're not afraid. We're ready to fight for what's right, Danny pressed, his tone unwavering. And with that, things began moving faster. Jack could feel the power of unity washing over him. They were no longer just a couple or a small group of friends. They were a force to be reckoned with. Lily took a deep breath, her heart racing, but there was a new resolve in her eyes. Troy, you think you have control, but you're mistaken. I'm claiming my truth. I want to let you hold God knows what over me anymore. We will expose you. Troy's confidence was slipping. You'll regret this, he seethed, the rage in his voice almost shaking the walls. I'll make you pay. And just like that, he turned on his heel and bolted from the room, leaving the files scattered like the remnants of a chaotic battle. Jack was breathless. We did it. We stood up to him. Lily turned toward Jack, a profound sense of relief mingled with strength flickering in her eyes. You were right, Jack. I can't let this dark past define me. I have you, and I'll fight for our future. Danny and Sarah moved closer, the air buzzing with hope. They weren't just surviving the fight, had fortified their bond. Let us find a way to expose Troy, Sarah began, determination flooding her voice. This isn't over yet. Yes. Jack exclaimed, adrenaline still pumping through his veins. Together, we'll face whatever he throws at us. They gathered what they had, the remnants of Troy's threat now transformed into catalysts for change. With new purpose, they set out to rally their community, to share Lily's story, to build a fortress around what truly mattered, their love and support for each other. No secret held power over them any longer, they were ready to reclaim their narrative. As they walked out of Troy's lair, Jack held Lily's hand tighter, both of them fully aware that the journey was just beginning. They could ride the storm, face every lingering shadow, and above all, write their truth together. Unbeknownst to them, the dawn was creeping on the horizon, a promise of hope breaking through the encroaching darkness. Together, they were an unstoppable force, lifting each other higher with every step. And as they stepped forward, they knew one thing for sure, the past had shaped them, but it was the unwavering strength of their bond that would define their future. Now, it's your turn. You need to subscribe now to not miss more powerful stories like this one. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support for our journey. Comment your reactions and feelings about this emotional conclusion. What did you love most about their transformation? And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this incredible story of love and resilience. Let us inspire each other to fight for what truly matters.